Breakfast with Bob and Paul.
Poncho Man, thank you very much. Again, this is a 2013 edition of Breakfast with Bob and Paul. We are a beautiful Huggos, and we're live streaming on triathlete.com. And of course, our sponsor is Monster Ice Sport, the athlete's headphones. Huddle.
Yes, Bob.
We always talk about athletes who can make an impact here that nobody's really talking that much about.
Yeah.
And one of the gentlemen who really impressed me was Mr. Bart right here, because one, he's from Belgium, and it's Bart Arnouts from Belgium, and we know our boy Luc van Lierde.
Yep.
First time out, 96, wins the thing, breaks the course record. And I looked at Bart's time from last year. He ended up finishing 11th here, correct? First time out.
Yep.
And first of all, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
So last year when I see you were 11th, and you swam an hour. There's not many people finishing a top 20 who are swimming an hour as a pro, right?
Yeah.
And 4:45, I think, on the bike, and 2:47 on the run, which is faster than Pete Jacobs, who won the race. So I'm imagining that you spent a lot of time by yourself last year.
Yeah, the whole race. But I'm used to it because I have a background in duathlon.
Yeah.
I started triathlon a few years ago, and yeah, I'm not a great swimmer. And that's what
really?
You saw. Yeah. So I mean, it's in most of it. I tried short distance, Olympic distance, for 2 years.
Yes.
And there it was the same. I was last out of the water, or
yes,
at least far back. And yeah, it's the whole time on your own because not many of the guys are strong on the bike.
Right.
In the back, and then just running on my own as well. So you get used to it, but it's different than what I experienced in duathlon because there I was a good runner, so I was in front of the race.
Right.
And now it's straight from the start. I have to chase.
Yes.
So it's different. It's not the easiest way, but I'm used to it, and I think it's just a mental thing where you need to be prepared for.
Right.
Yeah.
So I imagine I'm sure it's obvious to everybody, but when you're swimming an hour and having an 11th place, the following year, I'm imagining you just spend a lot of time swimming. You want to fix that chink in your armor and try and get as close to sort of mid 50s, maybe even low 50s as you can. Has that been the case, or are you like, we've had some athletes who are like, you know what, I'm a strong rider. I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm not going to worry about wasting time on the things that I'm not that good at. And there you go.
Yeah, I'm working on my swim since the beginning, since 2008. But it's just something that it takes long. If you don't have a background in swimming as a kid or as a young athlete, it takes so much time. I mean, you can't improve that much just in 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, last year I just had a terrible swim here. I mean, I was doing better before. But last year, I think the first year in Hawaii, it's all different. Maybe a bit more pressure. It's not an easy swim. It's in the ocean. It's without wetsuit. Most of the athletes are good swimmers, so you're by your own. I mean, straight from the gun.
Yeah.
So it was just hard for me last year, and I had a bad swim. But I've been working on the swim since 5-6 years now, and I did a lot of kilometers in the pool, crazy kilometers, but it just took time.
Yeah.
And
give me an example of the crazy kilometers in the pool. I want to hear what 1 week maybe.
Yeah, I had weeks where I was doing 50 up to 55 kilometers. That's in miles. It's
wow, that's
35 miles.
35 miles in the pool.
It's 4 or 5 years ago in the beginning, and it was not working for me. It was just too much. Some of the swimmers are not even doing that much.
No.
Yeah. So that was probably too much. It was not I was not improving.
Yeah.
So I did I tried a few things. I worked with a few swim coaches. I worked with a triathlon coach last 2 years. It's all different, and you need to look what's working for you. And I think this year I found what's working the best for me, and I'm improving.
So when I look, we've seen a lot of athletes over the years. Someone like a Fernanda Keller comes to mind. They not a great swim, good bike, and then they run their way through the field and end up in 3rd or 4th or 5th.
Heather Fuhr.
Heather Fuhr. But Heather was a threat to win because her run was so good.
Yep.
Someone like Fernanda was not going to win this race.
Right.
She was too far back.
Yep.
When I looked at your splits from last year here, and then I looked at Ironman France and saw Frederik van Lierde, I think, outsplit you in the swim by just a few minutes. I think you swam 53-ish, something like that.
Yeah, I was 3 minutes
slower
down
on him.
Yeah.
And then your bike ride, was 4:37, I think, something like that, and then your run was 2:37. So it's obviously the less work you do on the bike, the less ground you have to make up on the bike, the better you're going to run. You're going to be a little fresher. So what happened in France, and did you feel that showed you that you're having progression?
Yeah, in France, it showed to me that I made a lot of progression in everything.
Yes.
Last year I did my 2 first Ironmans. The first one was Melbourne, then Hawaii.
You're right.
And I started both races with a terrible swim. I struggled on the bike because I think I just had a lack of experience. It's just different than half Ironman. I'm quite a young guy as well.
Yes.
So I think in France, to me, it showed that I'm working on the right things. It's all going, I mean, in the good way.
Right.
I made a lot of progress in the swim. I had a good swim. On the bike, I was strong. I think my bike split was not that far off from Freddie last year.
Right.
But just this year, he was even stronger.
Right.
And I wanted to be nearly the same pace as him, but he was too strong. I just kept to my own strategy, my own feeling, and then I saved some energy for the run, because I know I can do something in the run as well.
Right.
But he was strong in the run as well, so I had to run even faster, and I think the battle made it that we went so fast.
Right. Just to the competition.
Yeah, because the third guy was maybe half an hour back.
Right.
It just. If I'm not there or Freddie is not there, it's different.
You would have backed off a little bit.
We were pushing each other.
Sure.
Right.
And Freddie knew he had to push it on the bike and on the run.
Right.
And on the swim.
Yeah.
I knew the same. So it's just hard against hard.
Right.
2:37 is an absolutely phenomenal marathon. I mean, it's so fast in an Ironman distance event. But when you don't really have an entire field of guys to compare it to, Freddie Van Leert obviously is an amazing runner too. So to run that fast against a guy like that, it shows what you've got. But more importantly, last year, to run faster than Pete Jacobs really shows something in Hawaii on this course. So for getting where do you have to come off the bike and have the confidence to go, you know what, I'm heading to the top 5 right now? Or do you even think like that? Or are you just going, you know what, I'm heading to the front, and wherever I get to, I'll get there and hopefully not run out of real estate?
Yeah, I think it's hard to tell before. But last year I struggled in the first half of the marathon because I was not very motivated anymore. I was in 27th position. I struggled on the bike, the last end of the bike. And then on the highway, I saw all the guys in front of me. They were struggling, or at least some guys were struggling, and that's when you get a boost. You just overtake guys, and then you think maybe top 20, top 15, and then all of a sudden you're close to top 10, and it just gives you a boost, and you don't think too much. You just give it everything, and you keep chasing until the body says stop. But for me, it was after the finish line that it said it's enough. But I think it depends on the race and how everything is going. And I think the closer I am to the front, the more you're motivated to push it very hard in the run. But it can be dangerous as well, because if you push it too hard, the first half, that's what happened.
So if you're laying back early on in the run, not really laying back, but just not motivated to really run that hard until you see everybody, does that give you a different strategy this year? It's like, you know what, you got to run regardless of where you come off the bike. You need to start running right away because you don't know what's going on in front of you.
But I know everybody talks about my running, but I'm not too weak on the bike. It's just I struggled the first 2 Ironmans because it's different. It was new for me. I was young. I was not doing that many kilometers or miles on the bike.
You were young a year ago?
29.
You're young. Yeah.
I'm not young, but for Ironman, it's
it's young.
You're a baby for Ironman.
Yeah.
I'm a baby.
The rest of the guys have walkers.
No, but I think it's just you need a few years and you need more experience to do a good race, the whole race, because everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
I made the first races, Ironman's, mistakes to go too hard on the bike. I was chasing the guys, but I saw you can lose way more in the second half if you push it too hard in the first.
Right.
So it just in France, I was smarter on the bike. I knew I was losing time, but I didn't care in the beginning.
Yeah.
I just thought, let's
stick
to my plan.
Yeah.
And try to do a decent race, the whole race. And I think I have to do the same in Hawaii as well. Nobody can follow Kona on the bike, so if you try, it's suicide. And maybe
it is suicide. Yeah.
So I just have to stick to my plan. You need to try to chase the other guys, because if you do it the whole time on your own, it's hard as well. But you need to be smart in Ironman. I think that's the key. And the older guys, they just have more experience.
Exactly. I mean, if you can come out of the water here in 55-ish.
Yes.
Be with that group of people and conserve some energy. Because I can't even imagine being in an hour and having to ride past all these folks on you. I know you've got that experience and background, but to be able to do that and still run what you ran is really unbelievable. Because, like, I think there was a study done by Aaron Hirsch over Triathlete that said if you're with that lead group, it basically saves you about 4 minutes over the course of 112 miles because of the less effort you have to put in. So think what you lost having to ride as hard as you did.
But I know it's important to keep working on my swim as well, because time is changing. The front pack is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. It's just important. You can't have a weak discipline.
No.
But I'm never going to be a great swimmer, but I can still try to improve, and every year maybe a little bit closer. I mean, there are other guys that are not in the leading pack, but a guy like Keenly is working on his swim for sure as well, or Timo Bracht. They're not the best swimmers, but they know it's important as well. You can't lose 10 minutes. That's what I saw last year. It's too much.
So just at the 70.3 Las Vegas, I know you probably didn't finish in the place you wanted to finish, but your run was about what Sebastian ran. In fact, I think it was about 4 seconds faster. I think you, what did he run? 1:14.54, and you ran 1:14.50 or something like that. So that had to give you confidence too, because he's a two-time world champion at that distance. Plus, what did you finish at, like 12th, 13th or something? 13th.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys, when you look at the 70.3 worlds, you've got some Olympic guys, you've got some people who are just 70.3